just awakened at this Monday, 25th, 2014, with a breakfast at the table and with hours to count, about to having the breathe of to degenerates the abomination, the maricas enfermas, like I said, and I'm sorry the words I shouldn't say, which already said enough, clear enough. It ain't nothing like homophobics, but to Kaiser, which is Kaiser's, and to God, which is God, and I'm sorry Adonai for the words, which are not representing your name, neither mine, but the real violence of this all and defining every one of this, giving back to them what they are and what they get. Right behind me for the making the job of the century. Well, happens something which it is a very clear thing that already said in this hebraics. Here in Buenos Aires, like happened in the whole world, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, this disgusting, abominable, hell badija, shopatrika, cloija, shimatachov, militares Argentina, especially Kirchner's, and her, with him, Nestor Kirchner and Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner and Aníbal Fernandez, the battle stanky, simply were arranging by groups, but small, but little, so slowly, like taking process, with the people do not find out which were maiden, and suddenly everything can be handled. Since 2004, studying about people like have been doing to me permanently and making up any kind of a crap all around, forging at the best Picassos of the crime organized the generation Sodoma, like that's with me permanently with my friends, and leaving for that, these abominable ones, and accomplishing all the generate that with a little chunky stuff, like they says about me, to saying and witnessing falsely any kind of a crap, for they to be the glorious sodomites of the century. With a couple of coins in a tongue, or a couple of bills in a brass, simply being the whorest of the whole nastiest hell's horse, to making and giving the whole pleasures for whatever there to be needed for Sodoma centuries. Well, suddenly, we find out that at this weekend were the lastest forgeries maiden with the programmed, premeditated, the generation maiden for the gloriously murder the whole of the ones as witnesses to be about rape for sacrificing the whole premeditated and programmed for, and saying already we've done less that had been done. Let's proceed. The proceed includes, like I said, to taking the selection group selected, the right group, the group selected, from inside of the government, from inside of the government's powers, institutions of justice, executor, justice, and legislative, executive, sorry. I have a very sleepy morning still and forced on conditions that I should never been. And from this executive justice and legislative, taking this 8,421, murder them all, and few by raping them cruelly, serially, for the sacrifice. Am I supposed to delirious? Which border is implies and accomplishing all the time, and with much more, like Alvear and the whole of psychiatrists, institutions of this lousy damn hell of a country. Over the reality of already selected, studied, premeditated, the generation of militaries to take in them places. Like we're doing since 2004 with the whole of the companion and accomplishing and the whole of the supporting and helping and assistance of Nestor Kirchner, Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, Aníbal and Alberto Fernandez, and the whole of the bodies of them. The supposed cleaning of the armed forces were exactly like I said. Murder the ones that were making the right thing and taking the cold bitches. Like to cleaning them pads. Let's try to be a little bit refined over the defining which they are. Like with toilet paper with every one of them. Like we're doing with me. Like the AMIA case, Argentina, and Embassy of Israel, with accomplishing the bodies of the terrorism of them businesses, militaries Argentina and Kirchner, of Iran saying that Al-Qaeda made him, when were made in by Argentinian hands. The two of the attemptings, and saying that I were and I still am a terrorist, by the AMIA. Well, la realidad, the reality of this, delivers into they were about to start to murder, and Milica's Sodoma, Argentina, already presented in front of the ones to murder to saying that they are going to take them places. And they had to rape them first. Like, to murder them because of that's the trick shit of Sodoma. Saying, I take your life with my piece of a rotten hell shit meat, Sodoma. And like this, and I'm sorry the terms as vulgar image that I give you, but it's exactly the reality. That is the worst. I'm sorry that I have to say it, but somebody have to say it. And whenever you have responsibility, you gotta play your responsibility. So suddenly, the reality is, over this all, this 8,000 and some else people never knew a thing and were all criteriously, carefully manipulated, inducted by Kirchner, Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, and their bodies, like she always have done, like she always were, like Nestor Kirchner, to make them believe everything is okay and they gotta working for the patriot and for the nation and making the job for the justice to be found out and done. And betraying and giving in to every one of them, like have done all up longer since 2004, for they to be raped, mutilated, murdered, destroyed, ruined, robbed, and a lot of other, like to making the business of the year. I am the angel. Nothing is wrong with me, and I'm going to show you that I care for you and for the people. And close the doors and are all Sodoma inside, and makes a body with them and puts them inside and rotten meats inside, and celebrates the whole of the destruction and the genocide and the less humanity and the destruction of all of us. And after that says, oh, but I were forced. I were so threatened, and I were under this menace, and I didn't know what to do. Didn't know, sorry. Well, the reality here delivers us into much other things that this lousy country in the pardon for the victims and the innocents, which are millions, which we are suffering every day with no other but suddenly dealing suffering and find out if we can any way out, if there is any chance for it. Millions were abominably devastated, destroyedly decayed, with no chances to go out, because of also were surrounded in sight, like me, so they did not escape. And a lot of bastards of hell betrayed me. For the reason of this, they did not escape. With the tell of, they are not going to escape, not taking off our sacrifices. Do you understand what it means, 666? 666 doesn't mean the endless number. 666 means the most of the imperfect, abominable bletakishki drachi ilan gishmat inkoblet achila shimat chachat lushimat echantika. And the Jewish David's king, David's star, is not of 6. The star is 2. There are bet kimas kibot rechal equilateral triangles assembled, which it means the right mishki bat rekal chidash for Abba and mishki bat rechav dishkal metrachi dishkim for Elahai, which in them times were Malak achai dishka metrechalishi achachi Yisrael Ishem el chachinamkli ishka metrach, which King David knew from my legacy, where I came from. I mean, actually there haven't a lot of other, but King David were a very competently Hamashech al Chibelechim that Adonai made them. And from that same root which came from Abraham, and which came from Noah, and which came from Belchit Chachi Chai Shmeli Kamachai, which Adonai taken. Well, there is my root too, so I've been born with the reality of King David's house. Well, the truth here that Rameles Mitrachit Shebat Rei Kabal Chadish Malachim Otleda Shiafar Rechal Il Shedecha Ki Yati Kamal Hashemat Rechilikish Bat Rechal Chumosh Kemat, so suddenly. These disgusting abominable ones are ready to take in positions and saying the last ones to take in the complete government, and this disgusting Sodoma queen, Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, like I said and I announced time ago, will come out to saying, oh, I'm sorry, but I've been trying so effortfully to trying to do the best, and a lot of my partners and compatriots were murdered. And I were trying to that never happen, and I am so victim here, like I never knew I will ever be in this, were about to happening, and I didn't know how to stop it. And she were all the time aware, and she were all the time accomplishing and helping and supporting this, and she will taking a vacation around Dubai or I don't know, some place of those. With the very whole money that she has stolen, she embezzled from Argentina, and with the blood of us staining her disgusting clothes of hell. The reality here goes through about there were 84,219 new evidence is forged with 284,189 compulsive chunkies liars with a name like they use for us, which are compulsive chunky liars, with a little chunky stuff in the bucket, a couple of coins in the hand, some bills in the brass, and everything is like Sodoma that generates invented, made up and forged. And Sodoma Queen Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner telling that everything is just like they said. We found justice at last, and this is the terrorist we've been talking about for the EMEA. And a lot of other like everything like they says, and also you all already know that I am in border forced. Not like I need it or being any kind of a demon or something like that. The reality of this transcends about that I already been denouncing and saying which were happening. Using my family, making up those 5, 4, 5, 7, 8, 15, 20 and 15 minutes each time, each year, of saying that every one of those minutes that I said, each year, everyone, to be a psychodiagnosis. Drawing like, but have you seen what Federal Police of Argentina have said and still says about this one and shown? The reality of this all about to saying that I gotta be what they says, with the whole of the arranging like the bills in the brass and the coins in the tongue, and a rotten piece of a meat of sodomaki inside for they to filling the stars of the world, the horrors of the whole horse. So the reality of this all delivers in. I am still forced for the making the worse and the trend of switching out hospitals to delivering me to Argerich Hospital for the Milicas Sodoma Argentina to making themselves the job. Saying, oh, but it's a demon. He have done the whole of the crimes that we say, but it's a demon and we gotta treating it, especially we know how. Like we know how to treating this all that have said bad and damages to the emblem of the patriot. Let us treating them. Rape them all and show them like what it's like to be what they said. Whenever there is a sick shit of a hell, there is a sick shit of a hell. And this disgusting sick shit of a hell delivered into the whole world this model. For the whole world to making this model because of where the chosen by the master. The chosen by the same Luciano Troviano, il presidente del mondo dell'inferno, del diavolo, the beastie, which supposedly to be my delirious, it is the head of the government of the world which has not recognizement and has not condition of being exactly that. Animal predator intelligence for being just a simple hell business. Rape, murder, robbery, making up forgery, accomplishing, organizing criminals that generates abomination, the whole nastiest ever you never know, all with them. And a lot of demons, already burned for the second death. But my desire. Well, suddenly for the whole of the thing, we find out a very singular thing here. They are saying that they are going to do in the whole of the world the same thing, and yes, my mother is sick, my mother got healed. And not by me, but by the generates this all, which are making worse than you ever never know. These bastards of hell gave a model to the world, which is the government of the world, which they are going to be the head of the whole of the nations, if the reality, like Adonai said to happen, does not. This abomination to making abominations, to saying that after all they've done, to keep on making the same on the world, abomination, and saying that it is going to remain like that, and they are going to show who commands and what is commanding, by killing, destroying abominably, raping and mutilating and sodomizing and making the whole the generations that they are in existence for. So suddenly, Ejército Argentino, Armada Argentina, and the bodies, Federal Police of Argentina, Blevre Caspitash Milaki Modre Lechisha Melchem, Zodre Balki Madrecha Lesha Madrecha Hebet, Inshi Badre Yamalekat Lechishi Madrechala, Zodre Mele Shachalhida Bakli Tochema Shacha. Lo Edre Balish Madre Yamalachat Lesibadrechin Shamalaki. D'être malade de casme les sachesh balachena maklita hejashki. Di kilometrayen ma sechalshia de baklita reicha de smotle de kam, batre malesha chalita belecha, de skopele tachi shiol machan. So suddenly happened that already selected in the whole of the world and the states of the G20, especially Israel and the US, and Spain and Suez and Sweden, as Norway, Italy, Bulgaria, Russia, and a lot of other places, forgive me. Simply like made in this selection, like done here, of the statal members follow forward into the heads and surrounding, taking positions, making the strategy of the chess, checkmate. To murder at this stage and forward and saying, we already have it all, we are going to forward. While this not happen, this will never be, and this will never be other but the reality of we command, and we show that. Let's rape it all, and let's make it a job. And saying, so what? They do know. So what? They do say what they say. We are going to rape them all, and we are going to kill them all. We are going to kill the world if this is necessary, because if we are going to show, and we are going to take this one, means me, and we are going to do what we say gotta be done. And praying in Carnival and Cabrera, Stemateas and Anacondia, dances the dance of the Belshimachidi Baal Hashum Alachahi, saying, oh, we've done it, we defeated it. To the God. So betchamele mesifot chayel mashechal chinam atleti akishvat chaychenik. Sotre mal veshem al atrechila hisem mashechal chad levoaiki. Oblet ramalika sivot rechal shayidayi ki mal chad el shoet rebal chimot lekam. Iblot remale mesef shafel hendrahi chidas mitrachila mashkal. Badre malech sam betrachina masechal shedraiki mal chad el osh batrayacham al chaveshkila chad. Oblet ramale shmiach al chad lakim. Beski badre chale meshechal china chalakim. Bashmanakim. Zo evre bale shechal hemalach hidakish bale chachalkimot layekim. Bedre mal bedash melach echad dekis velet chalaim. En zo betra belefen shechal china kublat. Zo evre bale shechina kilometrekin amalach hasholok letai chepashvora. Bledre masisa shechal china. El bledre malashim al chet lechidachanam. And whenever to be murdered, all of them, they are going to say, but we already have it all and we are going to forward. So this is what we say, and it's going to be done what we say and we command. But being animal predator intelligence, business, abominable them shit that I were trying to putting in them places, but the grand whore, Carnival, Cabrera, Anacondia, Rain, Stemateas, trying to submit me in the reality of saying it cannot have nothing of God, it cannot do nothing of God, it does nothing like the mercy that we know, you know, people that I just named, the hell, and the lie of the hell, and the manipulative condition of Rome. You don't serve no God, and you are hell in person. And so like that, Adonai is going to show you and put you, like he said clear, demons you want in my menorah, demons you want in my name, and demons you want in my servants, in my Moshe and Aliyah, demons I will give you, but not by him, or by them, but by yourselves. Demons you want, demons I give you, and 2 demons I give in you. And that's what it's gonna happen, and I'm so sorry. And the reality of this all is that beast is already around, and it got only the disgusting 9 abomination ears and made them the abominable, like the prophecy says. Small horn, the little mouth shall say the wonder. And what's the wonder? It says the word Beloki Dagish Karoch. And Beloki Dagish Karoch is nothing but the wonder of the marvelet abominables, amazes degenerates and abominations, and shocks them idolatrally like servants of hell, like abomination. So you Anacondia, you Carnival, you Cabrera, you Stemateas, and the whole of the bodies of yours that followed you into making the whole of the abomination, the whole lies you said about me, and the whole invention with your bodies of Sodoma, saying that you will stop a supposed criminal, a supposed murderer, a supposed degenerate, to using the things of the God. You are what you said about me, and you are going to go to hell. So sorry. And the reality of this all delivers us into the truth of all times, which this all, like I said, were happening through at long, as I said, would. And that this truth is written, were written. So suddenly, the truth is not a hidden, it's absolute. And you can corrupt yourself, and you can corrupt others, and you can pretend to besmirch and trample the truth, but whenever the truth to come over, you are going to be sorry. This is a lesson that no much learns. Well, the reality is this, people. I advise the world that tie enough bells and be enough careful and understand what I'm going to say. Spedri kalish medrai khatlesimat rechalshia kabet ramel estimat rechal hishem batrachilan der robel khadish kimalik hitrae khadish vilachi tashmikob letraniom melechat lesika khashov im potrekimat ladishkia batrechal khat ladishia betriachim olkelan mesetriachim khovelashkam levot ramilakim tronia semoshef alatrechalo khadish kimat layachinokem im botrem alachit lakiran. Zbiet rekod l'shkimot rechalikis, botrei chalakimo shel abad reyachim, esleka betachita l'shkebelecha libot rekam l'son cheshmona. Al bletcha melchid ishka belechecha d'sebel atriyam l'chon selaki, lebot remalcheneshmot l'yachid l'ski b'leshech al chimat hinalad. Zetri palkish komatriyan koblet aish kimalecha chalkimot alach, bishvot lemelchat vedikishmotayan, im plotriyan kamalvet chayesh chalkina. This is all with the HTTPS www.rdmcmtldf93488 dmtcld.int. using the same bleed as I gave in last over the video of my violence whenever I said a lot of violence is the best like to taking. But I give you this special, which is a simple key kamiko, and it is 8943831 WMDCMTRDN 445, all in small caps. In big caps, DMTCLD 138 point BMC, the Z, sorry. In small caps, BMZ DMTLDLC 9481 point big caps BRDM9 point 662 point. The symbol theta of the Greek, RDMI 4DMTDL 1 point, the symbol P in Greek, MDLCDMT948 point, and the symbol beta in Greek, 831DM493 DDTLC point, BM930 in big caps with the numbers, point big caps ABMT middle Kornik Dishpatliki Hadesh BMC5 point small caps RDMCT 2 point MDCDL 2 point MFDC 1 point RDB point RDC point LDL. This is a special key which you are going to have the whole of the evidences about this, what I just said, and a lot of more about this whole reality. Nastiest, lousiest, degeneratest, abominablest reality that Christina Kirchner had permanently with no being no victim and no being no freedom. And the whole of the degeneration of her sect, companioning her and supporting her and saying, oh yes, we gotta do it for the patriot. Conscience about it, and a lot of used inside puppets, and a lot of stupid, but real stupid, but being more than used, and being accomplaced, because of it were the word, accomplaced, sorry, on the truth that involved them whenever they never knew what they were doing. God is a manipulative, disgusting generation whenever they need to use anybody. And after that, to being condoms for rape, simply reject them and put them like scum in the middle of nowhere, or just kill them. The style of Cristina Fernández de Kirchner and Sodoma Argentina, Ejército Argentino, Policía Federal Argentina, and the bodies like Aníbal Fernández and rest. I set you with this at this morning, this tragic, disgusting morning of this disgusting country, with the pardon of the victims, a lot, millions, and innocent, which I loved so much, and I still do. At this 10/19, at this rainy Buenos Aires, Argentina morning. And I hope something good to come after all from this. And I'm sorry about that I didn't it in Spanish. I were thinking about that, but suddenly you understand I have a domestic problem with the condition that this set me out, like no possibility of reaching out, no my real job for I to taking and joining my money, for I do not can get out, for I do not can reach out, no help, no visa block that stolen me, no plane tickets that stolen me, no ICCs International Criminal Court's order that stolen me, no United Nations appointments, and also plane tickets and also passes from United Nations, like I to get out of this country and can do something better in much other places as ever to be, like a much other kind of a things, and also saying that in the world I've been a criminal, a serial criminal up on the whole of the world, and also here that I am responsible of a lot of crimes with them associated, and putting this all that they made an app like the root of it all, and saying, oh yes, we all agree, and everything happened. And suddenly I couldn't reach out, not even my best job that I will ever have, which were to working right in the International Criminal Court or inside of the United Nations, making my job. And also inside of the World and Anti-Terrorism Council of United Nations, which I were cooperating and working with a lot of people for so long, for the trying to make my best. And Adonai provided for, and thank God, for they taking the powers and making the abomination that they just made them. And while everything is discovered that everything is forged and everything is a lie, murders people for they to say, oh, this stays like this because of we made them, and it gotta be because of we command. So I set you with this at this Buenos Aires rainy morning, already 10:22, and I hope this to work for something good. Shalom.